Welcome. I'm Asa Lanham, the Chief Executive Officer of Innovaro, and this video is the first in our series of videos to talk about the Launchpad Imagine product. What I'd like to do is first review a couple of things on some slides here and then actually take you into the product to show you some of the key screens to give you an overview and an introduction. Before we jump into the product, though, what I'd like to do is introduce you to a couple of terms, and hopefully you'll have already looked at our Launchpad, or actually our Innovaro methodology video, and then the Launchpad video that shows how Launchpad maps to the Innovaro methodology. What I'd like to do, though, is to talk a little bit about some of the lexicon that we're going to use during the course of these videos. We refer to the innovation process as a journey going from the original ideation through incubation and then investigation and implementation. And in that journey, we talk about a number of things. One of those is that we use the term called lenses, which is really a term that's used to provide a reference structure for a fresh perspective. It's looking at the world through a different set of lenses. And there are four fundamentals that we use, although there are more than that. We use orthodoxies, which are the conventional beliefs about what drives the success in your company, in your industry. And oh, by the way, these can not only drive your success, they can also hinder you. Man will never fly, the earth will flat did not really drive success. Consumer insights are all about a deep empathy, understanding, and feeling the unvoiced needs of customers. This is not just simple market research. It's not surveys. It's really understanding what the customer is trying to do, what their difficulties are, what their opportunities are. Core competencies really look at the company as a portfolio of competencies and strategic assets. What are the fundamental things that make our company great, make our company good, that we can rely on, that give us advantage in the marketplace? And last is discontinuities. And discontinuities are fundamental, and sometimes they're weak changes underway, but we've all experienced discontinuities. I mean, take a look at the advent of the smartphone as the discontinuity into the marketplace and the mobility and the things that have gone along with that. Wi-Fi, cellular, those are all discontinuities. Clustering is the process of combining, whether it's data combined into information, whether it's ideas combined into platforms, but it's some type of a thematic organization to produce larger sets of information and products that helps us deal with larger constructs and larger concepts. And the last one in here is crashing. And crashing is a technique that we use to help explore and challenge the insights that you'll generate in a structured manner through an interaction with people. You can kind of think of it as a more organized style of brainstorming where a few key topics are brought in, looked at, examined, flipped, and matched up against each other to see how they work. So that's really the key topics I want to talk about in here. In our earlier series, we talked about the 4 I's of innovation, and these two in particular, ideation and incubation, are what applies to the Imagine product. And in this process, you go through the capture of large amounts of data. Then you take that data and you cluster it together into information, into clusters of data that make up information. And then you use that information to generate insights. And then we crash those ideas, those insights together to generate lots of ideas. And then we cluster again, and cluster them again to make lots of little ideas into larger platforms. And this is a technique that you'll see used throughout. We refer to this as diverge and then converge. Diverge means getting lots of new perspective, lots of new information, lots of new ideas before you converge back. I think it was, I'm not sure who it was that said it, but if you do the same old thing with the same old people with the same old ideas, you get the same old information back. Not a good thing. So it's gathering lots of information. And then moving into the incubation stage with Imagine, it's taking those ideas and it's really elaborating those, it's making them into platforms and making them into concepts that people can get their heads around, and then to convert those into business concepts. So those are what we're doing with ideation and incubation. Now, in Launchpad, in Imagine, we're going to talk about 3 real modes of use. Workspace is where the core functions of the product exist that you will work with on a day-to-day basis. That's where we embed our leading edge innovation processes to really accelerate innovation. Teamspace is an integrated global workspace that a team can share to do a number of things. We'll talk a little bit about that as we look at the product. And then Learning Space, We know that members join teams, and members leave teams, and what we wanted to do was to provide an integrated e-learning mechanism that will allow you to understand these concepts, understand these constructs, to be able to go back and reference on an ongoing basis and be successful. Right? Now, the methodology, if you just look at Imagine, we break Imagine up into three major phases: discovery, ideation, and elaboration. And we actually facilitate your being successful in each of those phases with a set of labs: a discovery lab, an ideation, and an action lab. And we'll talk about each of those labs as we look at the different pieces and phases of the product. But the key in discovery is you're going to capture information, data, create clusters of data to get information, and generate insights. Then generate ideas, cluster ideas, build a growth platform, and create business concept, just as we said in the ideation and incubation of that. Right? The services that we provide to help do that are, we come in and work with you initially to set up the engagement and to teach you Launchpad Imagine itself. It's very easy to learn Imagine. It's powerful, but it's not complex to learn. And then we have a set of labs that we go through with you to help you understand the methodology, apply the methodology, use Imagine in order to effectively generate the information, generate the ideas, and get to the business concepts and platforms. And we do that through a dedicated innovation expert who will work with you in the lab, that will be on call for questions and discussions, and will actually monitor and reports on your internal progress and usage. So that's all I want to cover in this. So let me switch over now to the product, if I may, so you can take a look at actually Launchpad itself. And this is actually Launchpad itself that you're looking at now. And I've already logged in, so you can see what it looks like here. And when you first come in, you'll see a blank screen. This is the workspace. You'll see here, you'll see discover, ideate, and elaborate. Those are the three major phases. Those are the 7 steps that we talked about. This is the workspace, right, area. And then TeamSpace. TeamSpace is that collaboration area I talked about. And since I'm logged in, you can see I'm a member of the Consumer Insights team. It shows that I'm actually online here. You can see who's online during the period. This is the team name. And what happens is you can have threaded discussion. So you can put in a discussion item up here. You can have a forum about it. Enter your post in here. You also have the ability to have a variety of documents. So you can load documents in, whether it's a reference document you want to share with somebody, whether it's a document for a template for a form to be used. You can create global documents. You can create drawers. We call these drawers. So you can create drawers and put things in them and do that and share them with the team. So you've got a dialogue mechanism here that's focused on the collaboration part. And then the third one I want to talk about is e-learning. And in e-learning, what you have in here is you have a set of videos and text. And you can see you've got an overview, and then here's the lenses that we talked about. Here's the ideation and growth platforms. Then we actually get into business model design and experimentation, which is outside of the scope of Imagine, but not outside the scope of Launchpad or e-learning. So let's take just a moment to take a look at Consumer Insights, and we'll do that in more detail later on. But you can see what you have here is you've got video, you've got textual information, and you've got access to a workbook, which actually has the templates and the things that you need in it to do that. So that's really all I want to talk about with Launchpad today to get you started. It gives you an introduction, gives you an idea of what it's all about, and I thank you for your time.